Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another CounterSide video. Alright, so this week, there's nothing much in the update. Alright, if you guys have looked through the patch notes, it's literally like one banner, right? So there's all of this rerun for all of this exclusive equipment. Lee Jisoo is coming in the banner. That's a good thing. If you want to pull for Lee Jisoo, you can pull for her. And Agnes in the banner. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, there's nothing special. There's a new Danger Close. And yeah, some login bonus alongside the way. So I figured I'll take this opportunity to talk about the latest Reddit topic on CounterSide Reddit. Okay? So, players are showing concern regarding CounterSide, the latest revenue, as you can see. CounterSide November 2023 revenue is 190,000. So what do you guys think? Should we start worrying? So this is definitely a very scary thing to look at. Now, let's just explain context for you guys if you guys are not aware. A lot of these kind of games, live service games especially, right? It relies on high revenue to sustain itself. Usually when the game has low revenue, you know, they tend to go EOS, end of service, which I believe some of you guys might have experienced some games happening before. Alright, so Princess Connect is one of the more notable ones. Revive Witch, I think recently there was a Hero Kantare and Final Fantasy, one of the Final Fantasy, I forgot which particular version, but definitely it's something that does happen from time to time and it's very scary. Alright, so obviously if you play this game, CounterSide a lot and you're a big fan, you know, like I am right now, you can see still playing every single day, still logging in, still finishing up my dailies, except for this, you know, I don't really play much arena, but at least I try to do as best as I can, right? But the truth is, you know, it can be very concerning. A big drop right here, 280,000 dropping to 190,000, so that is a big slash in revenue. And keep in mind, this is CounterSide for the global version, which basically counts three particular region as a whole, which is the KR region, the global region, and the JP region, right? Since it's been merged, it doesn't include the C region, however, but I don't think C matters for much in terms of revenue, right? Regardless, let's talk a little bit about this and let's just read through what players' concerns are regarding this issue. And so yeah, the topic, as you guys can see, what do you guys think? Should we start worrying? So this is going to be something that's something that lots of players are extremely worried about. I hope not. I haven't even reached the 1 year's time mark and I really like this game. This has a better story than most anime nowadays. I do agree. CounterSide has one of the best stories ever. And even the side story, actually, hot take, side story, feels like some of the stories on the side story are better than the main stories one. Some of these substreams one, they have pretty good ones. I like the Ministra Rita's one. I like the Kim Chul-soo's one is not bad, right? There's a bit of filler right there. The Counter Saga, decent, right? You gotta study and learn about his past. Some of these are, you know, pretty good. I would say Shinja's one is not bad as well. There's a couple for sure, but overall, you know, story is definitely what carries CounterSide, and I can agree and I can attest to that definitely as someone that reads plenty of its story before. If the game closes, I hope someone will pick up the story up and turn it into an anime with good quality. Hopefully not. Alright, so let's try and read what this guy is trying to say. I'm surprised it's so low. I thought it was a high quality gacha. Lack of FOMO in the costume shop was great too. Definitely, the FOMO, it depends on you, right? Like, not everybody falls for that for sure. I stopped playing because of the lack of in-game information. An example would be Shadow Palace 5 when it was first released. I think where the major enemies you face are doppelgangers of the main characters. Okay, Shadow Palace is one of the game content. What the game tells you is check the original units, but the original units don't travel the entire length of the stage, KOing everything and the ship along the way with one skill. Oh yeah, the Shadow Palace is definitely something that I think players struggle on, especially new players. It's something that you know, everyone struggles on at some point in time, but once you beat it, then you don't have to worry about it anymore because it's something that you can just sweep, right? As you can see, once you just need to beat, I think 5 is still the latest one, you can just skip altogether and just get this currency. But I can see the first time beating it, it can be a little bit challenging. Dice bosses difficult stages, they all lack in-game information, so I could make informed choices with my team. I had to rather beat my head against it or look it up online. Sometimes they gave some information, but I would have kept playing if the game gave me full details. So I knew what was going on half the time. It's a shame, otherwise the game was pretty good, great visuals in game, splash art, gameplay was alright. A shop not limiting costumes encouraged me to buy costumes more than I did in other gacha. What does this mean? What does shop not limiting costumes encourage me to buy more costumes? Okay, that's interesting, I guess. I do think that, CounterSide is one of the best costumes. Like, I feel like that could be what carries it in terms of, the appeal of the game. I do think that costume is definitely one of the better one. In fact, recently they added these 2 new costumes, right? This is one for Felicet, the new character, and one more for Elizabeth. Very, very good costume. Both are very, very good, high quality costume. You can see the L2D is very detailed. I did got the Ministra skin as well. That's something that, all of these are definitely really, really good, high quality art in terms of the L2D for sure, right? But, some of these you have to use the admin coins, which I think some players just don't want to go towards. You can just figure it out like the spell barrier, okay? And yeah, turn-based strategy is too complex for auto battler. It's a bad trend. Let's hope the Steam revenue is good enough. 190k is still a lot of money, so who knows? Yeah, it is a lot of money. So just a quick disclaimer, giving you guys a little bit of my knowledge regarding the game revenue as a whole. Based on my experience, usually when a game has publisher, right? Publisher tends to take about 30 to 60% cut from the revenue. Alright, that's what publisher usually do. But if you guys are not aware, last time that used to be the case when Nexon was together with Studio B-Side. But after that, Studio B-Side has left Nexon. Now Studio B-Side is self-publishing the game entirely. So most likely you don't see as much advertising. That's because of it, right? Usually publishers' job is just to advertise the game, to push out the product, to basically try to advertise it to the consumer whatsoever. Obviously, if you are a standalone company, you can still do it on your own, but it's just going to be something that's harder to do. But I don't think it's that bad, right? For if this is like 100% their profit, a Studio B-Side belongs to the studio itself, then it's going to be, it's not too bad. If this is sharing between them and Nexon, then you can see why this can be a concern for sure, right? This is what most people are missing. This is only mobile revenue. I, for one, do all my spending on Steam because it's noticeably cheaper. We have no clue what the Steam numbers are, but just bear in mind that 190k is not the full picture. That is true. That is true. So what this guy is saying, that this 190,000 revenue is not everything add together. So plus they could have some merch going on in KR, I believe, right? I believe I've seen some of the merch, some of the cafe. Those things could be a thing happening there. But you also need to understand how this trend works. Usually, based on my experience, I've been playing mobile games for about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years, even 6 years now, right? Definitely, when I see, usually if a game goes down in one section, in one part of the equation, right? In this case, in Android, you can assume that it's going down on iOS as well, and it's going down on PC as well. I doubt this one is going down on Android and iOS on mobile version, and then Steam is going up in terms of sales. Most likely that's not the case. All right, most of the time you will see a downward trend altogether, and sure, maybe the total add up might still be very, very high, but we won't know for sure, right? Mobile spenders are still going to be most of the time generally higher because there's more people with mobile phones nowadays than with PC. Yes, you could be a few exceptions. I think people just need to stop, taking things as if like they are looking at it from their perspective. And I know that a lot of PC players tend to have that perspective, that they are looking only from their point of view. And I get that for sure, right? So as you can see, player base on Steam don't look promising at all, okay? You can also stack. As far as I know, you can't really check the Steam revenue, but you can check the Steam numbers in terms of players and stuff whatsoever, right? So that's also something to consider. There's also ad revenue, hard to tell. The banners at the time was on the horizon. Okay, so definitely something is going to be a different story. Steam revenue is probably great. Ever since the HoloLive pricing debacle, I've been all Steam and at least a dolphin. A drop in 90k is definitely worrying, and this decline has been going on for months. Yes, it's been going on for months. If you observe, CounterSide generally is just... I think because they used to rush a lot, right? The Awaken and stuff. We haven't had any new Awaken for a while. So maybe once we had like a new banner, a new Awaken banner, that could push things back. But even in December, you can see in the roadmap that they announced, I don't see any new Awaken there. So that's going to be a little bit iffy. Not too sure if the revenue will plot back up for the time being. Besides attempts to prop up sales with new resources and skins, hopefully they do not mess up their next game like the Origin update for CounterSide. So the next game they're talking about is probably Project Star, right? This had to be the biggest downgrade in almost any gacha game I have played. Horrible UI change and the removal of dupe upgrades. Okay. Personally, I'm also concerned about the speed of release of the Awaken units. I heard in Korea there is a couple of months difference between releases. This is too long. Because new characters are a major selling point for a gacha game. Has it always been this way? Or has the pace of the new content development slowed down? I also heard they are making some new game and perhaps most of their efforts are directed there. That's most likely my guess as well. I think it used to be faster. If I remember correctly, back then when I was playing on C server, it used to be one Awakened character every month. 1 month you have one Awakened character, 1 month you have one Awakened character. So literally within 1 year, you will get like 12 Awakened characters for sure. But it seems like lately it's been reduced. The speed, the pacing has been slowed down significantly. It has gone down to about, I don't know, maybe one Awaken every 2 to 3 months, or maybe 3 to 4 months even, right? Which is kind of crazy. So definitely that's going to be something that is a concern. Again, Project Star is something that they are working on. We are aware of that. They are even, you know, they even show out that particular game multiple times already. We have seen that before. Everyone buys on Steam because it's a lot cheaper. Another Doom post. I don't really see this kind of post as Doom post. It's just more like to create discussion of things, right? So that's what I think. Okay, so there's plenty of people typing essays all over. If you don't play Relic Gears, you'll probably be rich. I make many different team and equipment. I'm PvP fan playing team. Okay, this is one thing that I noticed about CounterSide, alright? So, I don't know why, but CounterSide can be a little bit overwhelming because of the gears. So, a lot of people are saying, I get asked a lot as well, right? If you are new and you are playing CounterSide for the first time, where should you be farming gears? That is also one concern that I see a lot of new players asking every time, especially on Discord, right? This is something that I see a lot. You can get gears from raids by doing Brithra raids, inhibitor raids. So this is going to give you, you ideally want to be able to do this black exchange all the way to the end, right? To get some of these. This one will be able to craft some raid gears. You can also go, you know, head over to this place right here in the Shadow Palace. This will also give you some gears right here. And then you can also go right here in Dimension Trimming. You can also get different type of gears right here in the Trimming, Trinity, Jungle, Volcano. Again, it feels a little bit messy. Like if you think about it, it can be a little bit difficult for a new player to figure things out sometimes, because it's all over the place. Compared to, I think, Epic 7. And recently I've been playing Black Clover. In fact, I'm farming in the background right now, as you can see, right? So in this game, it's much more streamlined. You only get gears from one places, which is the gear dungeon. You farm the gear dungeon, literally that's it. That's it. You just farm the gear dungeon. Depending on which dungeon you get, the red dungeon will give you certain gears. The green dungeon will give you certain gears. The blue dungeon will give you certain gears, right? So in CounterSide, it's like, it's more all over the place, right? If you want to farm exclusive gear, now you have to go to the exclusive, what is that? This one, right? The what do you call this? The event challenge thing, and then try to get some exclusive gear, and it's kind of, it feels like it's all over the place, and I think that could be bad for new players generally. If you're a veteran player, for sure that's not a big problem, but newer players might struggle a little bit to figure out why is it everywhere, right? So I can see that being an issue for sure. That's something that I think, you know, if they could streamline it a little bit better. I thought the Origin, they are going to try to make things simpler there, but it feels like, you know, it didn't fix that particular issue per se, right? On Steam, everything is more cheap, to the point I can buy 2 packages of admin coins. When on mobile, I could only buy one, so I buy all on Steam and not going back to mobile. Yeah, I've been hearing about this, that on Steam, somebody said it's cheaper for them, but I've also heard some other points saying that on mobile it's cheaper than on Steam. So I think this could be region based. It depends on where you're from. Like if you're from EU, if you're from US or UK or whatever, right? Like I feel like this is where you're from ideally. It's hard to say per se because I've heard different people saying different things. So I think best for you to just check and don't, believe what people say because it might be different. As far as I know, Steam is usually kind of regional in a certain sense, right? So some things might be cheaper in certain regions than others. So consider checking that and, fact checking it yourself because you are the one spending money. So something that you have to make sure. Does this game ever have ads? I don't recall ever seeing it. Is there any ad for CounterSide like Honkai Impact ads and Genshin ads? As far as I know, no. Last time when they did it with the HoloLive collab, that was the closest thing to ads or advertising that they've ever done, right? How much do ads actually cost? It is unlikely that the developer could be stupider than us and not think about such a possibility. Maybe it's too expensive and the less the game earns, the less money to buy ads. Genshin or Honkai Star Rail has a lot of money. They can buy up all the advertising 24/7. Yeah, that's true. Advertising costs a lot of money, like more than you think actually. As someone that has worked closely with a lot of brands, a lot of sponsorships, I do take sponsorships on my other channel, right? So I am aware of how expensive ads can be because like when game companies reach out to me to promote certain games on my channel, that's like an ad on its own. So it can be kind of expensive if you are doing it in a large scale for sure, like sponsorship for streams, for videos. That's going to be something that people need to always consider, that it's not as cheap as people think it is, right? It does take up a lot of their revenue, a lot of their earnings away, and also it might not be a great conversion depending, right? It might be, sometimes the conversion might not be a return of investment. You might end up losing it if you promote it to the wrong audience. But yeah, this is going to be something that I actually love reading what people have to say regarding this because, CounterSide is a game that I still play for sure. The community is getting smaller and smaller, definitely niche right now. There's a lot of new games though. There's just a lot of new games around. I can't really blame anyone per se. It's not really the CounterSide developers' fault. It's just there's a lot of new games coming out. Once 2024 comes, probably there's going to be way more competition. Hopefully, Studio B-Side can step up their game, and hopefully they'll continue to push towards in 2024 as well. But with that, we still have one more month until the end of this year. Hopefully, CounterSide will continue to stay for at least 1 more year, 2 more years. All right, we'll see how it goes. I'm not too worried because I have plenty of other games, but yeah, if you guys are only playing CounterSide, consider picking up 1 more game. And I'm not saying quit CounterSide, but hey, you can still play other games while you play CounterSide. I don't think that's, I guess it depends on your time, right? For me, it's like that's what I'm doing, right? I play a lot of other gacha games as well. But hey, let me know what you guys think. As always, subscribe, give this video a like. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Have a nice day. Goodbye.